Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Ziegman. I teach at Windsor Elementary School. I teach 4th grade. One of the things that I'm really missing while we're away from school is sharing some of my favorite books. So I thought maybe today I would share one of my favorite books that I always read in the springtime. And I read it in the springtime because it's about baseball. And usually we start our baseball season in the spring. Now this just isn't any old story about baseball. This is about a young lady who played baseball. And what makes this really amazing is it happened in the 1930s. And in the 1930s, girls didn't play baseball. That was the time of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and baseball was definitely a man's game. This story that I'm going to read to you today is called Mighty Jackie, the Strikeout Queen, and it's written by Marissa Moss. It was April 2nd, 1931, and something amazing was about to happen. In Chattanooga, Tennessee, 2 teams were about to play an exhibition game of baseball. And of course, an exhibition game is one that doesn't really count. It's just for the fans. One team was the New York Yankees, a legendary team with famous players Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Tony Larazzi. The other team was the Chattanooga Lookouts, a small team, a nothing team, except for the pitcher, Jackie Mitchell. Jackie was young, only 17 years old, but that's not what made people sit up and take notice. Jackie was a girl, and everyone knew that girls didn't play Major League Baseball. The New York Daily News sneered that she would swing a mean lipstick instead of a bat. A reporter wrote that you might as well have a trained seal behind the plate as to have a woman standing there. But Jackie was no trained seal. She was a pitcher, and a mighty good one. The question was she good enough to play against the New York Yankees? There's Jackie on the plate. As long as she could remember, Jackie had played ball with her father. She knew girls weren't supposed to. All the kids at school, all the boys in her neighborhood told her that. When one boy yelled to another, "You throw like a girl!" that was an insult. Everyone knew girls couldn't throw, or at least that's what they thought. There's Jackie with her dad. Day after day in the neighborhood sandlot, Jackie's father told her differently. He said she could throw balls, and she did. She ran bases, she swung the bat, and by the time she was 8 years old, Dazzy Vance, the star pitcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers, had taught her how to pitch. A real pitcher talking to a little girl was all Jackie needed to start dreaming of playing in the World Series. Her father saw her talent, and so did Dazzy. He told her she could be good at whatever she wanted as long as she worked at it. And Jackie worked at baseball. She worked really hard. There she is with Dazzy Vance. She practiced pitching until it was too cold and too dark to stay outside. She threw balls until her shoulder ached and her fingers were calloused. She pitched until her eyes blurred over and she couldn't see where she was throwing. But it didn't matter because her arm knew. And now she was finally going to have her chance to play on a real baseball team and pitch to real players. The stands were packed. A crowd of 4,000 had come to see the strange sight of a woman on the pitcher's mound. There's the crowd getting ready to go in. Look at how fancy they're dressed to go to a baseball game. She stood tall on the field and looked back at the crowd in the bleachers. They were waiting for her to make a mistake, and she knew it. They were waiting for her to prove that baseball was a man's game, not her game. "But it is my game," she muttered to herself and bit her lip. The Yankees were up, top of the first, and the batter was walking up to the plate. Jackie was ready for him, the ball tight in her left hand. Except that batter was Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, the home run king, a big mountain of a man. The Babe didn't like the idea of a woman pitcher at all. He thought women were too delicate for baseball. They'll never make good, he said. It would kill them to play ball every day. He walked to the plate and tipped his cap at Jackie. But if she thought that he was going to go easy on her, she could forget it. He gripped the bat and got ready to slam the ball out of the ballpark. Jackie held that ball like it was part of her arm, and when she threw it, she knew exactly where it would go. Right over the plate, right where the Babe wasn't expecting it, right where he watched it speed by and thunk into the catcher's mitt. Strike one! Babe Ruth gaped. He couldn't believe it. The crowd roared. Jackie tried to block them out, to only see the ball, to feel only the ball. But Babe Ruth was facing her down now, determined not to let a girl make a fool of him. She flinched right before the next pitch, and the umpire called a ball. Humph, the Babe snorted. You can do it, Jackie told herself. Girls can throw. Show them. But the next pitch was another ball. Now the crowd was hooting and jeering, and the Babe was snickering with them. See, they're laughing at her, aren't they? Jackie closed her eyes, and she felt her fingers tingling around the ball. She felt its heft in her palm. She felt the force of her shoulder muscles as she wound up for the pitch. She remembered what her father had told her. Go out there and pitch, just like you pitch to anybody else. Strike two! Now the Babe was mad. This was serious. The Babe was striking out, and the pitcher was a girl. Jackie wasn't mad, but she wasn't scared either. She was pitching, really pitching, and it felt like something was happening the way it had always been meant to. She knew the batter would expect the same pitch, close and high, even if the batter was Babe Ruth. So this time, she threw the ball straight down the middle with all the speed she could put on it. Strike three! Babe Ruth glared at the umpire and threw the bat down in disgust. He told reporters that would be the last time he would bat against a woman. The crowd was stunned. A girl had struck out the Sultan of Swat. It couldn't be. It was a mistake, a fluke. What would the paper say tomorrow? But wait, here came Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, up to the plate. He'd show her. She couldn't strike him out, too. There's Babe. He's very upset about being out. Lou Gehrig swung with a mighty grunt, but his bat hit nothing but air. Strike one! He looked stunned. Then he dug his heels in and glared at Jackie. Strike two! There's Lou Gehrig swinging at the ball. Jackie grinned. She was doing what she'd worked so hard and long to do, and nothing could stop her. She pitched the ball the way she knew best, a lefty pitch with a low dip in it. No one could touch a ball like that when it was thrown right. Strike three! She just struck out Lou Gehrig, too. The crowd, so ready to boo her before, rose with a roar, clapping and cheering like crazy. Back to back, Jackie had struck out two of baseball's best batters, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. She'd proven herself, and now the fans loved her for it. But Jackie didn't hear them. She was too proud and too happy. She'd done what she'd always known she could do. She'd shown the world how a girl could throw, as hard and as fast and as far as she wanted. And one of the reasons that I really like this story, of course, is because it's a true story. And I pulled a picture off the internet. That was Jackie Mitchell, the real Jackie Mitchell, taken back in the 1930s. And here's another picture of Jackie Mitchell with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. So this story tells us that it's really important to have a dream and to work really hard to your goal and not let anyone else tell you that you can't do what you really want to do. And I hope that you have something that you feel really strongly about and you work really hard and make it happen for yourself. Have a great day, boys and girls.